Greetings, Darklings, from across the interwebs. It is once again I, the Duchess, Precious Ken, and I'm staying up late tonight. We're doing a West Coast interview. This is going to be exciting. I'm going to tell you about a very exciting guest in a minute. Before I do that, I wanted to give a shout out. I went this last weekend and saw KMFDM and Chant. More importantly, I got to meet Bradley in person, and they were just as amazing as I thought they would be. It's so cool to see an industrial band like that that starts from the drums and percussion within and does this badass like Genesis singing, light show, drumming, playing keyboards and all these things, and then have them be the centerpiece as the percussion and build out from that. So that was good. Okay, MFDM was good too. But Chant, everyone go out and see this tour when it comes to your town and get a chance. I tell you what, it is well worth just to see Bradley do his thing alone. Now, without further ado, I forgot I'm pointing this around. Rachel got me this. It is a back scratcher cat paw. And I'll tell you what, we're not sponsored by this, but like if you want to send me a bunch of these, whoever makes these, and you happen to be in goth music and watching this podcast, I won't say no to supporting you because that's a great product. While I was at Cold Waves this year, I saw many wonderful things and many wonderful people, but one of the standout performances for me that left me absolutely floored. Industrial music, I'm always a fan of, and is my punk rock, is my anger release. But it's been a hot minute since I've really felt somebody in the industrial adjacent genre absolutely kicked my freaking teeth in with the intensity and anger which they released in their live show. So this long buildup has been for me to welcome to the Sounds and Shadows show from California, Haex.
Hello.
Hello.
Adam and Sarah, thank you for being here. Why don't you start out by giving me a little of the origin story of you were there, you were young, you heard and saw something, and then you said to yourself, that's it, that's me, I'm hooked and I want to be a part of this. Tell me about what that thing was.
Oh man.
I can, or you?
You first.
Okay. Let's see, the short of it is we met while I was playing keyboards in another band. You were doing bass and keyboards, and I took over keyboards for a couple shows. And I was like, like, she's a super good musician. I wonder if she'd work with me on my own project. So I had another project before Haex, invited her to do guitars, and it was phenomenal and better than the music that I've been writing by myself. So I was like, maybe we should just do something together. And you agreed, and it just snowballed into something amazing. That's the short of it.
I love that short version. Sarah, do you have anything to kind of add in as to when you really felt we got something here?
Actually, it was our first show, and we played at a venue called The Complex, which is here in LA. It was run by and owned by John, who runs Das Bunker, and it was one of my favorite little spots to go to. I didn't get to go as much as I wanted to, but it was a perfect little venue, and we played that show, and we had a bunch of people come up to us and say, like, wow, we haven't seen you play yet, like, what, this was really good. And at that point I was like, well, we've never played a show before, and a lot of people in the audience were like, you could have fooled us. and that was the moment when I was like, okay, this is just working. And the fact that it just worked was all we needed to continue focusing on this. And also we lived together at the time, so it was really easy to just like dive all the way in, and we did.
See what we could do.
Yeah. So you bring up another thing that I find interesting there. Because I don't know a ton of them, but I've been to LA, I've been to California, been there. It is a different beast than really any other music scene in the world, I think. It both with its own, trials, but then also with some added benefits that you don't get anywhere. I can't just book any random Tuesday in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and have enough people I know are going to be there. Whereas in LA, there's a venue every time you throw a stone. So tell me a little bit about kind of how you think that played in and how LA is a part of your story.
I think that, the more chances there are to go out to a party or a show, the more chances there are to meet someone, the more chances there are to make friends, hear new music, see new music. It's such a thriving scene here, and there's parties. I think next week we have a friend of mine is DJing 5 times in a week. We're playing a show. I'm DJing a show. There's 3 pre-parties. There's 2 after parties. It's a festival. So like the more you go out and the more you go to these things, the more people you connect with, the more you expose yourself to.
The more you have to go out.
Yeah, exactly. And the more you have to go out, and it becomes this weird organic like it's like being thrown into a washing machine, and you just come out with all of these thoughts and ideas and plans and experiments. And I think we're very lucky to live in LA. I think that comes out in a lot of our music, uh, for the different genres we touch on, while also pushing at the forefront industrial metal. um, but I don't think that would happen without living in LA. On the other side of the fence, when I lived in Europe for a while. I lived in Canada for a while, and the music I would write there was a lot colder. It was a lot calmer and darker. Um, and LA always seems to have this like underbite. There's always like a little bit of, and I think that also plays into what we do as well.
So next place I want to go with this is, like I said, one of the things that really struck me with you is I am not a big necessary metal dude. I never had that phase. I never, and that's not usually what does it for me. And honestly, you guys are about as hard as I can handle. Like you are the edge of how far I can go. But there is such a place for that here. And what is it about kind of that bone breaking, jarring edge of industrial? When you say industrial metal, I put you guys right on the metal edge of it. What is it about that really appealed to you so much?
I think that the way we differ in industrial metal is we don't try and bring metal to industrial. We more so focus on industrial and think about what else can we add rhythmically, and what other hard things can we add into this that are still an industrial pattern, an industrial groove. And that's how guitar got added into this project. It was always going to be additive. It was never going to be like, here's a guitar with industrial behind it. It was always going to be like, here's a bunch of robots fighting and fucking, and then also like, do you know what would sound good here? Like, and that's kind of what happened with the EP that we did for your last project as well. I think that's when we realized like, okay, there's a difference here.
It's like if there was such thing as not so much metal industrial, but like not sorry, wow, I said that backwards. Not so much industrial metal, but metal industrial, where kind of the dynamics are switched, where it's still a lot of the formula of traditional and old school industrial with a lot of the modern kind of flavors that metal can offer.
Yeah, our homies from I Die You Die, they said it best about our album, that all of the guitar stuff is so, it's such an additive quality that it doesn't feel like a guitar album, and that makes me
I
pretty
like that.
happy, because we don't want to be guitar driven music, just like we don't want to be a band with a trans woman in it, or a band with like two gendered members. Like, we just want to be as heavy as we can be and make you dance, and I think that's the main focus there. um so I don't know, I guess it's up to everyone else to decide whether or not it's metal or not. I think you're still safe. I think you're still safe.
Nice. Uh, so you brought up something that I think leads in is really interesting there. Like I said, the live performance was another level for me. I'd listened to your CD, quite a few times before going into that, but it popped and hit another space, and that's what you want from a live show. You know what I mean? I hate going out and hearing the CD played note for note perfectly, like I could have sat in my living room and got this. You know what I mean? You want it to have a different kind of teeth. What is it, especially a big performance like Cold Waves, that you try and do to get yourself into that space, or have something else there to make that feel special for you when you're performing it live?
Mm.
Hmm. I feel like it just happens so natural. I know that's kind of a cop out to say, but like we go up there to have fun, and we go up there to communicate with the crowd, and trade energy basically. And the music that we bring gives a kind of energy to the crowd that we absorb so fast that every show is just nuts all the time. Even small shows,
Yeah.
it's like we get that energy from the crowd right away, and we just give it right back.
Yeah, I think it's really, there's a story about someone working with Trent Reznor, and they're learning the parts to a Nine Inch Nails show, and all the way through the practice, Trent is like, "Hey, like, stop playing what you play. Like, stop playing what you're supposed to play. If these people want to come see the album, they would just put it on. Like,
Right.
I want you to innovate." And I think we took that to heart with our live performances, where they're scheduled out, they're slated, we have somewhat of an idea, but a lot of the time it's just like playtime. It's like, how can we connect with someone? What are we going to do that's going to connect with someone? um and that's something we've really focused on in the last year, after not being able to connect with anyone for
Mhm.
the prior 3 years.
Yeah.
So I think that helped a lot too.
Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna switch gears now, and I sent you over my bass player bestie, Sounds and Shadows partner Colin. I told you for Archdiocese Guitars makes these, like, chops down a freaking tree and turns that into a guitar from scratch, which is
Oh
insane.
wow.
So cool. So if I was to have Colin make
Mm.
you your signature dream guitar that really embodies you, Haex, the whole vibe of it, tell me about what that guitar would look like and sound like.
So I've really thought about this
Mm,
like a lot. So first of all, the body would be in a Steinberg shape, which is kind of this weird little like ninja looking starry pointy thing. Um, and that would be out of maple, because I really like how maple sounds. It would be a the neck would be carbon fiber, so I can drop tune it really well.
yep.
And it would be like a maple neck, bolt on all the way through. I would want fanned frets, and no headstock, so it would be headless.
Ooh,
And I
okay.
would want Fishman Fluence modern pickups, because they have a lot of clarity and they play really well with maple. And the color scheme would be matte black on the body, and the neck, the maple neck would have carbon fiber and black wood, and then all the frets would be acid green and kind of fan out. I've always wanted a headless guitar, because the way we play and how like I play synths in the bands and guitar and
Mhm.
like we're trying to add more. It seems like it would make sense to be less of a guitar. So I'm playing less of a guitar and more of like an instrument.
Yeah.
Which also adds into the ideology of us not being a guitar driven band. So yeah, if you're if your homie wants to make that, let me know.
You know, I'll talk to Colin. I mean, we have now the recording of and he's always looking for a challenge to try
Always
and
a
do
challenge.
something he has never tried before. So
Also a 7 string or an 8 string, not a 6 string.
that's usually a given for him. He does that a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we was it a Schecter that we used, a custom one that had the bass?
Yeah, we recorded a 7 string with a 7 string Schecter, and I had them. I know some people over there, so I had them drill out the hole for the string, and I put a bass string as my low string. So that's another
That's
way I
dope.
get like a chunky sound when we're playing.
You know, we borrowed the idea from Mick Gordon, who did the Doom soundtrack from
Yeah.
2016 game, and I was like, how come no one's putting bass strings on their guitars to get that like on the low end? And oh man, it roared, and it didn't
It's a
purr, it
lot.
roared. It was
It's a
so cool.
lot. Yeah. So yeah,
All right, Adam, I'm going
let's
to give you a gear one now too. Okay. And so my question for you is, the studio's on fire. You've got all the pets out, the people out. That's all safe, all good there. You only have time to bring one that you can carry in an armful load, piece of equipment with you. What are you grabbing to get out before the flames engulf everything?
I know what I'm going to say, but I just have to have a caveat is, and most of the stuff that I do is strictly on the computer. All the stuff that we do for writing and recording is going to be at Sarah's place. So
we're fine.
I'd grab that huge Novation that we use on stage. What's it?
We have a Novation Summit.
Oh my God, the thing's a monster.
Yeah, luckily we have a hookup with Novation. Christian is our rep, and he really comes through for us. So whenever you see us play, we have like an 88 key Novation, and it's insane. So thank you for saving that.
Right? Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. And if it's an LA show, Christian's probably gonna be there enjoying the show.
Yeah,
super cool guy.
He's a nice guy. I think he'll be happy that we said that.
So you have come fast on the scene. You're one of these bands that I feel like, I mean, you played in other things that were doing things before, but Haex itself, I feel like has kind of been a pretty meteoric ride. And what is it that you're excited to do next with it? Where do you want to be? If we did this interview again 1 year from today, talking to you, what's the story you want to be telling me about what's happened in the last year that you're proud of?
That one is such an easy question. I think we would have either an EP or an album slated for the next year. We will have been signed to a record label. We will have done 2 to 3 major tours, opening for bigger bands, and also I want to throw a warehouse party in LA, and I want to play that, and I want it to be.
I want to go to your warehouse party in LA. When is that? Let's do it.
I know. Ask me next year. I'm sure we'll be just about to plan it. So yeah, that's and then of course I want to do the festival circuit again. I want to see everyone at Cold Waves. I want to see everyone at Terminus, and I want to go to Infest.
I want to go to Infest. I was going to wait till you took a breath. I would have said, yeah, and we're going to do Infest.
Yeah, do some Europe as well. So just
wake up for Treffen.
Yeah, why not? Infest, just a couple things. I think realistically, maybe we won't end up. We will have said we're not at Cold Waves and Terminus this year because we were last year, and we're giving it a second. But I'd love to.
Or maybe we'll do the if they're still doing it. Maybe we'll do the LA one.
Yeah, who knows?
Let's get to Chicago this time.
So just a few things, just a couple things.
That's exciting, and I look forward to doing that interview then to talk about all of them, so that we have all the details in place then. When you invite me out to the LA warehouse show.
Oh yeah, definitely. Have you been to LA? You've been to LA,
I have
right?
been to LA. It's been been a hot minute. LA is one of those places that I have a blast there for about 36 to 42 hours. And then I'm like, cool. It was kind of the same way recently. I went to Berlin a few years ago, and I thought to myself, like, 22-year-old Ken would have thought this was literally the greatest place in the world. But 42-year-old Ken needs a nap. And I think that's what Berlin so much hit me was, I was hanging out with the guys from Night Nail, the band out there, and we're hanging out, and it's like 4 a.m. or something after we'd gone to a show at Berghain. And he's like, yeah, so there's this like goth after party with this really cool DJ spinning. So I think that probably starts around 4. So we'll want to get over there by then. I'm like, I'm sorry, that it starts at 4?
Hell yeah.
I'm not following you.
Yeah, no, they don't stop there. I don't think I could ever live anywhere else other than LA or New York and then go to Berlin and be like, here we go. Like we have long raves here. I used to work a lot of them, and so I'm used to like waking up at sundown and going out. But man, whenever I go visit another place, if we're on tour and we're like, okay, like 10 o'clock, we're gonna go grab some food before we play, everything's closed. We just live in a different world here, and
Yeah.
I'm thankful for it. But I
And it'll
don't.
be 7 a.m. in our time when we actually play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where we're
like we're close to past my bedtime right now. Like we're
Yeah, we're gonna run through our set. We have a show coming up, and we have a lot of things to do. We've probably got like a 6 or 7 hour night ahead of us. So
wow.
that that's the difference of times.
So I think every time, and albeit it was just the one other time I did, but when I talk to you both and see, there's sometimes you can feel from a band a special energy that they're close and they like each other. And that is, sometimes bands are a working relationship, sometimes, but I think part of the spark with you two is just, it feels fun all the time when I see you and just how you are, whether it's on stage or off. Tell me about something that I don't know that you guys like to do together that isn't music and isn't the band. Something that you enjoy or do. It could be playing a video game or whatever, but something that you do that isn't about the music.
Man, what do we do?
Got so many
What do we
memes.
do?
First of
It's
all,
memes, isn't it?
I think that's the
It's
primary
fucking
thing that we do.
memes.
Yeah, because I'm mostly just working from
Wow.
home, and then she's out and about getting her DJ stuff. And
Jeez, it's fucking memes.
I think it's memes.
We look at
You're just
memes.
shit posting to each other. That's how it keeps the dream
Yeah.
alive.
Every day, all the time, we shit post and send memes, and wow.
I think that's our big connection.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I just like.
So how do I
I'll
get in the chain? The shit
Like,
posting.
Yeah, there's I'm really hooked on this one bird right now that says "What doing." I think it's fantastic. Hamlet, and we've been watching a lot of Hamlet recently.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I've never thought about this before. We like to go to pumpkin patches.
I mean, that might be, maybe that's what you guys
I don't
need
know.
right now. Maybe you need to tomorrow take a trip to the pumpkin patch, but have a little you time, take each other out for a nice dinner or something to, yeah.
There's a petting zoo at the one that was open last year. It's fucking back with the alpaca that I kiss on the nose.
Oh, in Trumptown.
It's fucking back.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We're gonna do that.
Alpacas are cool. They're very soft.
So cool.
They got those necks.
So fucking good. You can just like, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
So going along with that, I would, one of the other things that we often ask here is, I have my 4 kitties that I am a cat dad of. Do you have any pets or furry creatures other than the llama at the petting zoo you go kiss that are a part of your lives as well?
One might be coming. I'm not sure. Okay, I have 4 cats. One's a new one. They're all failed rescues. Wait, failed fosters.
This is Willow.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, stealing the attention. Here's
This is
Willow.
Willow. Look at her.
Marshmallow
hi,
Fox.
Look at her.
Willow.
Look at him go.
Is Willow a tripod?
Yes, no. Willow has 4 feet.
Oh, the other one was well. I have a tripod. I have Freya, my third. She lost her leg, had cancer in it, but is doing wonderful. Is the most glorious beam of light and runs and jumps and climbs on her little 3 legs. And yeah, a lot of bands in this scene actually put together a few years ago. We did a compilation to save Freya by
Oh goodness.
yeah, a lot of bands stepped up for me in a big way. It's a very, very beautiful, touching thing I still think about.
I think you did.
You put on a not a Kickstarter, like a GoFundMe kind of thing for that, right?
It was more, yeah, we put the album out and people would just do donations on Bandcamp with it or whatever to kind of help offset the costs a little, because it was like $7,000 or something to do. It was not cheap. So
That's a good
but
idea.
she is doing wonderful and fully recovered, and it actually brought together a lot of bands that didn't know each other. I kind of like would reach out to this European goth band and this Chicago industrial band and be like, you should remix them or something like that. And some of them became fast friends. It's a beautiful
awesome.
thing.
I love cats. Look what they can do.
What can't they do?
I have another black cat named Akasha, and then Adam has 100 cats.
That's what I was just hearing, or at least 4.
You're just
4
looking at me.
cats.
Yeah, 4 cats.
Cats,
I'm
man.
gonna try to stop. No guarantees.
I feel like once you have 4, and you can probably speak to this, once you have 4, like, does it matter? Like, can you do, like, what's another 5?
I said the exact same thing to my partner Rachel, where basically I told her exactly that. 3, we were avid, serious cat lovers. Once we went to 4, you're a batshit crazy person. And like at that point, you're right. The difference between 20 and 4 is nothing. You've hit terminal velocity. So you might as well just lean in and huff that sweet, sweet cat belly.
Get it. Get it. I'm allergic to cats.
Same.
Definitely. Very awfully allergic.
What's
But,
a little, bleeding eyes or whatever in the glory of cats?
It's fine. It's fine.
Makes for good photo shoots.
It's fine.
All right. So we have now reached the point in the interview where we're a music review page, first and foremost. And so I always like to hear from artists, what are a couple of new things that you are listening to that you really enjoy? And here, I'll get us started because I'm going to shout out an LA band from you guys.
Shout out Male Tears. Hey.
We're playing with
shout
them
out
soon.
to Male Tears. Love Male Tears. So
we're playing with them on the 20th. Yeah. So if you're in LA, come out to Pomona on the 20th. It's Haex, Male Tears, and Vision Video. And
that's a heck of a lineup. You got Dusty too. I love him. He is too pure for this world. God, I love him.
He's a hunk. He's a hunk. I'm gay.
He is a dreamboat. No joke.
Still a hot man. I'm like, okay. Yeah, he's just so nice.
Yeah.
We played with them before.
Nice.
They are.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see them again. I'm excited to see Male Tears live. They're also a riot. Everyone go follow Male Tears on everything, especially Twitter, please, because goddamn, it's a good time.
James is truly a riot. He is just and has this kind of like shy, like he'll say a little joke and just be like, I don't know this.
He's a shy
and it's always the funniest shit. And he'll act like he's self-conscious about it, but it's just so sassy. I love it.
No, he's so sassy. I can't wait for that show. That's gonna be so good.
Okay, that's beautiful. I'm glad we got to shout out the show. That was good thinking. So I got us started. Let's go. Adam, then Sarah. Hit me with what is something exciting that our listeners should be listening to.
I have a small list, but I'm only going to say one. There's this French band I can't pronounce their name. I want to say Il.
Bless you.
It's a HORKH.
Wow. Okay, I don't know this one.
You should check them out.
I definitely will. Tell me of them.
They're not too different from us in that they're probably very influenced by metal. They don't have guitars though, but the guy has such a cool screaming voice, and like, man, I wish I could pull it up and play it at like good quality or something like that. But
I'll put a
they
link
have.
when we release the interview.
Oh,
Just
sure. Okay,
sing
cool.
it,
No, I'll
Evan.
make sure you get it. Oh my God, no.
Just sing it.
He has a higher voice than me.
Just
It's so
sing
cool
it.
though.
Oh.
We should play together. Yeah, make that happen. But Mud in My Wheels, I think is the name of the track.
That's a good one.
Jesus.
I like that.
That's a good track.
It's so catchy and so hard. And bouncy. It's like everything like really hard industrial kind of stuff needs.
That sounds dope. That might end up being song of the day tomorrow.
I'd recommend it. Yeah, sure.
Just wait till mine. So I'm gonna go with. So this isn't new. It came out in 2020, but
We
I
haven't
feel
discussed
like
That's still pretty new.
it's still new, but the band is Houses of Heaven, and the album is Silent Places, and it has been on repeat for me.
This is what you
For-
sent me like. You refreshed me just like last night or the night before, right?
Yeah, because
I got stuck on that. That was good.
It's been on repeat in my house for like a month now, and as we're moving into like October and as we're getting a little spooky, specifically the song A Place Between, it has very like post dark wave like delay and reverb, and it's just very spooky and very good, and it's definitely the song of my October. And everyone needs to go check it out. Houses of Heaven. The album is Silent Places, and specifically A Place Between. Can you link that as well? Because goddamn.
Yeah, I definitely can.
It's a I feel like the dark wave and post punk kind of stuff is usually hit or miss with me. I love some of the stuff. A lot of it kind of sounds cookie cutter though. These guys are extremely unique in the way that they do their writing. Very cool percussions, very cool atmospheres in the background. It sounds very unique for that genre of music, which I can really appreciate.
So as we are coming up near the end here, I want to tell everybody, I mean, this album really hit me and impacted me in a big way. I think you can hear that in my voice when I've talked about it here and from what I've written before, but Ether, Abyss, Void, and I know you guys have out now here I believe it's a remix, series off some of the tracks for it called Reflections, correct?
Yes.
And everybody should go check that out. That was out in May. What is the next big thing or release that people need to go check out and keep on the radar for Haex?
You know, we don't have anything else coming out this year because the year's starting to slow down.
Yeah.
But you know, I think we're still very much like a budding band. So if you could do anything, like introduce the album to someone, you know, please just let them know. Be like, hey, I want to show you this. Like, what do you think about this?
Oh, wow.
And if everyone just did that and just focused on that, that'd be super sick. We really appreciate it.
So to clarify, we're going to be writing for the rest of the year too.
Yeah, we will be writing, but that's our little secret.
So I was just going to say though, we always like to give people a taste and spin out to one of the tracks here. And you guys, I mean, there's a lot of really exciting remixes on it. You've got Morris Black. I mean, his remixes are always just next level. And plus it's Cursebreaker. I love that track. Choke Chain. I mean, Mark is doing kind of like you know, just to me, like a meteor, a shooting star, that things just started happening so fast. You have Locked Girl, you have Crooks Lies from California, which I think is really interesting just because from a remix standpoint, you would almost think it would be the other way around, with their kind of dreamy style. But that's really cool. And then Clack, Matt and Eric. What is the track here that you think, if people were going to give their first try to Haex, what is the one of these remixes that you are really excited for and want us to spin out to?
Damn, that's hard.
I know. And you should have to say it at the same time in case you give different answers.
Let's do that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Lock Girl.
Lock Girl.
Lock Girl remix.
Lock Girl remix. Boom. There it is. I'm not familiar with them. So tell me a little bit about them and how you got in contact with them to do this.
Well, no one really knows anything about them. I just messaged them online because I heard a mix that they did for someone else. And I was like, can you please do a remix for us? Because the mix I heard for someone else was so cool. And that never came out either. So we kind of just
Are they a vampire? Are they
no,
not actually
a vampire? They're not a wraith. They're not what we do in the shadows.
I was trying to build a mystery.
But who are they is the thing.
Are they an AI intelligence in an underground bunker run between 46 computers from the late 50s?
Yes.
Wait.
I can't, and that's the thing, and that's what we were asked as well from her. Don't,
cut this part out.
Don't put us out. Don't tell anyone who I am. Don't tell anyone what I'm doing, because she's trying to control her own narrative. So we respect that, but the remix is sick. So we're awesome. Let's go. Yeah, it's fun to have a secret, right?
Yeah, it is. So it has been a true pleasure talking with you both. I'm so excited for you. I see just big things on the horizon as somebody who, I don't know, is in touch with and talks to a lot of people in the scene. And honestly, you get me excited and fired up for what's next. So I can't wait to see the next leg of the journey. And thank you so much for talking with us. And now I have a bunch of research to do to try and learn more about the music of Locked Girl, but this is the song Leviathan remixed by Locked Girl. From all of us here at Sounds and Shadows, keep it dark, y'all. Disarrayed, through counter chaos, forced in solitude, unseen, unheard.